morning. I heard that you have bought yourself a pistol and you want to know what to do next. How can you get better at it without breaking the bank, going to the range, and just shooting a bunch of ammo? Well, I'm here to tell you about dry fire drills. Nothing more than the act and purpose of running your gun without ammo to learn where to put your hands, how to grip it, learn to find your sights when you drive the gun out, change your magazines, manipulate your slide. There is no fancy pistol work. There's only the basics done well. And the basics, outside of the trigger press and recoil management, can be practiced pretty much without ever shooting a bullet. So let's start. First thing first, every single magazine you need to make sure is absolutely empty. Your gun, everything. It's dry fire, no live ammo. It makes terrible messes in the walls. So next thing's up. Let's talk about grip. Get a little closer here. Most pistols come with a dovetail. Your job is to ride high on that dovetail. Grip the pistol, drive it out. Some people will shoot like this. See a gap? It is not, that's there to help stabilize your shooting hand and the pistol to you. Grab it, wrap it around. You should feel pressure between your thumb and your pointer finger on that dovetail. Not uncomfortable, but there needs to be pressure. Grab around, not tight. You're not squeezing the life out of it like you're trying to choke a chicken. You're just trying to hold it. Keep your booger picker off the bang switch until you're ready to use it. Everything you do here is going to translate to what you do at the range in competition whenever you do it. Booger finger off the bang switch until you're ready. Good guy, bad guy. Remember. Let's talk about clothing, and let's talk about pistol drop. You will never be fast trying to be fast. You can only be fast being smooth. You can be fast being practiced. You try to be fast just for the sake of being fast, you're going to be a shit show. You'll be all over the place. You won't know what to do. You'll lose yourself. Your grip will be wrong, your sights will be wrong, magazines will be flying everywhere. Practice slow to get fast. Going back to the holster, pistols like this one in particular, the only safety on it is on the trigger. If you have baggy clothing, you have loose clothing, you have clothing that can get stuck in that holster or in the trigger housing, you will set it off. I had a DEA agent that I shot with, great guy, knew his stuff. He said the number one reason people have accidental discharges with pistols is going back to the holster. People get clothing inside where the trigger is, and it pulls the trigger when they push it in the holster. Pull your clothing tight, look it in. Never be in a rush. You can be in a rush to draw because you're trying to be quick and you practice. Nobody should ever be in a rush going back into the holster. So let's talk about the basic drill. Take one magazine. I like to put my magazines bullets forward. That way, when you pull out, they go right in. It just works for me. Do the same way each time. I don't bullets back, bullets forward. I've been trained and drilled bullets forward. Holster, your job is to build muscle memory. You're going to draw, making sure your grip's right. You're going to drive out, find your sights, squeeze the trigger. Rack it to the rear, drop the magazine. In this particular belt setup, I have a holster, or a drop pouch. Find your next mag, drive it in, return to holster. Go back to start position, draw, Press it out, find your sights, squeeze the trigger, rack it, drop it. Practice retaining your magazines because you don't get new ones. New, release, squeeze. Do it all over again. Get into practice of clearing your pistol. Dry firing will not hurt your pistol because at the end of the day, you're going to do it at the range or you're doing competitions. It can hurt centerfire, or not centerfire pistols, rimfire pistols, but not centerfire pistols. They're well built. It just doesn't happen. You're going to dry fire it when you do competitions to clear it and prove it cleared. It happens. You're not going to hurt it. So let's just go through it from the other side. Just slide this over here a minute. Make sure this is a drop pouch. As I said, I don't like to throw my magazines on the ground. I like to practice keeping them because they're expensive. I mean, you know that too if you bought some. So once again, set it up. And there's no perfect right or wrong way to do it. By the time I didn't rack the slide to reset the trigger. It's not the end of the day, you didn't lose anything. You're practicing drawing, driving it out, finding your sights, getting that lineup, squeeze the trigger, drop the mag, put it in the mag, rack it, forward, squeeze the trigger. There's no magic dry fire drills. Just do it over and over and over again. You can do it in the comfort of your own house. Without ever leaving home or shooting animal. Let's do it from a different angle. Your goal is to be able to change the magazine with the pistol presented without looking at your holster. As you can see, I need to practice more too. And then you just press the trigger. You don't even have to have the striker go off. Just press it. Get used to pulling the trigger, squeezing it to the rear, not yanking it, not jerking it. Just this gentle squeeze. Get it reset here. You do that about 10 times. 10 times a set. Do a couple, 3 sets of 10 on it. And then, when you're done with that, practice it kneeling. Know where to put your mags, know where your new ones are without looking. Rack it, let it go. Squeeze the trigger. Do that 10 times. Because what you're also doing is training yourself to clear malfunction and get your gun running again. Muscle memory. You already know, rack the slide, let it go. Holster, look it in. And there you go. Dry firing, pistol use 101. Do that like you do a set at the gym. Do it 3 or 4 times a week, 2 times a week, whatever you want to do. Do it before you go to the range so your muscles remember what you're going there to do and what they got to be doing. If you just draw and practice presenting the pistol, find your sights, squeeze the trigger. And then incorporate mag changes. Learn, teach your body where your magazines are. Where to put them. Tip the pistol a little bit to the side if it helps. It presents the mag well. to your magazine. And there you have it. You want to get better pistol shooting? Start by dry firing a couple times a week. Till you get so good you can do it without thinking. Because even the pros will dry fire before matches. They'll dry fire and it's too cold to shoot. Dry fire when you're bored. Pull out the pistol, make sure it's clear, no ammo. Then you live fire in your house. Your wife will be pissed when you punch a hole through the wall. If that's the least of your worries. Practice changing mags, racking the slide, releasing the slide, where you can do it without having to think about it. So when you're out there at the range and you're shooting your competition or whatever, only goes up from competitions, and your gun runs dry, you already know what to do. So there you have it. Pistol dry fire 101. Maybe I'll get it if you guys like this video. We'll get into different drills you can do, different, maybe incorporate a rifle, transitions. I think for competition you're going to transition, but in real life, I was an infantryman for 7 years, airborne infantry for 6. But never found a reason to transition. You can't, in a real fight, if you're trying to change your magazine and standing while somebody's shooting at you, you're going to die. You need to be moving to cover. So, yeah, you got to know how to do it, though. We did dry fire drills, ready ups in the Army until our backs couldn't stand it anymore because it takes muscle memory. So, get to dry firing. Let me know what you think of the video. What can I do better? Hit that subscribe button and we'll keep putting out some videos. Thanks for coming along.